So tonight is Sunday, April 14th, 2024. As far as a Dharma talk, I've got nothing. I've got nothing. So I decided I'm going to bring out the Peace Oracle, my favorite deck. I just shuffled and this one jumped out. I think I like it. It's called Everlasting Life. This is my favorite deck of all time. This is the deck. And I'm just going to read from that. So they give a quote and then like a little description and an affirmation. I'll read a little bit of each. The quote is from George Bernard Shaw, and it says, "We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future." And the card says, "In your beautiful life story, you are a blank page between yesterday and tomorrow. Today, there is no script. Right now, there are no rules. In all ways, there is only love. Let the wisdom of the past and the vision of a peaceful future be your guide." The affirmation is, "I value my past, my present, and my potential. The pain of the past has no claim on me. It prepares me. Yesterday's lessons are foundations for greater tomorrows. I embrace my history and elevate my future. All that I am lovingly supports all that I seek to be." I'll take it. I'll take it. Focusing on today, the right now, the moment that is, that's definitely where I've been in the last few weeks. Hold on, let me put this away. So it's all about being present and staying focused with what is. And I think tonight I was going to have someone new. So is there anyone new? I don't see anybody new. I mean, new total. You've never attended meditation? Oh
No,
my God.
first
You're,
time.
oh my God, that's so exciting. So welcome to meditation, but I mean, you're not new to me. There's
No, no.
somebody new from California that was going to join, but I don't see her on here. So, well, Lynn and Jim, I mean, you're new to some of the tribe then, but not all of the
Indeed.
tribe.
That's true.
The Costa Rican tribe is familiar.
The
Um,
family.
it's your family, yeah. That was such a spectacular week with you guys. Um, so basically with meditation, I usually do a little bit of a more Dharma talk. I don't have it in me to do a real Dharma talk this week. Not that I don't have it in me. It's just my mind's blank. So I read from the Peace Oracle, and then we just go into our meditation. The best way to do it is just use your imagination throughout the whole thing. Just pretend everything I'm saying, visualize it, imagine it, pretend it the best you can. And then afterwards, you can log off at any time. You don't have to stick around to the very end. We usually are done at 9:30 Eastern, but you don't have to stay that long. You can log off at any time. I always think that the conversation among us at the end is actually the most beneficial and the most connective and where the good stuff is. So I highly suggest you wait around if you can. But if you want to log off or you have a headache or whatever, you can log off at any time. So on that note, let's see what this week brings us. We can get ourselves in an upright position or comfortable position. You want to try to refrain from lying down if possible. If you need to lie down because of comfort, or if you're in the hospital, like our friend Thomas, lying down is more than okay. And you can turn your computer screens off if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. And then what we'll do is we'll start by just kind of checking into this moment, just letting yourself be present in this moment. And keep your eyes open unless you've already closed them. If you've already closed them, you can keep them closed. But if they're open, just notice the space around you. Notice the chair that you're sitting in. Notice the room around you. And then when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can go ahead and let your eyes close. And if you prefer for your eyes to stay open, you can do that as well. Just fix your gaze about a foot down in front of you. I want you to go ahead and just focus in on your breath and listen for your breath. See if you can hear yourself inhale and hear yourself as you exhale. And bring your attention and all of your focus to the feeling of your breath, but also the listening to your breath. You can exaggerate it if that helps. Or you can get very curious with your ears to see just how well you can hear it. And if there are any noises around you, there are people in other rooms, if you hear televisions, if you have animals making noises, include them, include those noises into your meditation. Let them be the background of your meditation. And the center and the focus of your meditation is the sensation of breathing. And just notice as you inhale, how deep does your breath go? Are you breathing shallow into your chest, which is fine? Are you breathing deep into your belly, which is fine? There's no right or wrong way, just notice your breath. Allow your tongue to relax in your mouth. Let your cheeks fall heavy. Let your temples relax. Let your jaw relax. Still being aware of your breath as you breathe in and out. Notice if your mind wanders. You can allow your mind to wander. Instead, just notice where your mind goes and let it be. And then visualize your breath as it goes deep into your lungs. And imagine your lungs getting filled with oxygen. Notice parts of your body are just naturally beginning to settle and relax and let go. You don't have to tell your body to do this. It'll just do this on its own. And imagine a wave of relaxation just goes in through the top of your head. And follow that wave. Maybe it's heat, warmth, however you want to visualize it, coming into the top of your head, and follow it as it goes down your face and head to your neck and throat, to your collarbones and shoulders, down both arms. And feel these parts of your body just relaxing, letting go just a little bit more. Notice any place you're holding tension and stress. And by noticing those places, you'll naturally let go even a little more. Let that wave of relaxation go down your spine. Let it go into your chest, your solar plexus, your rib cage. Let it go into your hips and pelvis, down both legs. Imagine any stress or tension, any worries, just all what gets pulled out of the bottom of your feet, as if Mother Earth is like a magnet for anything that no longer serves your body. Mother Earth is going to pull it away from you, and Earth is going to recycle that energy and make it useful. And begin to use your imagination and imagine that as you breathe in and as you breathe out, you start to become aware of your body in your auric bubble. This is just a bubble of energy extending a foot to 2 feet to 5 feet around your body. Just imagine yourself inside this bubble. Imagine the outside of the bubble as mirrors facing out all around the bubble. And those mirrors reflect the world's energy back at itself. And on the inside of the bubble, there are mirrors facing you. And your soul's energy is reflected back to yourself. So begin to imagine that the interior of that bubble is reflecting back at itself. And begin to imagine a growing, beaming light of any color or colors begins to fill the bubble. That light is the light of your soul, emanating from your chest, from your solar plexus, just emanating from your body and being. And imagine that auric bubble begins to expand the more focused you are on the light of your own soul. Begin to imagine or feel or become aware of what the light of your soul even means and how it feels. Maybe you get warmer. Maybe you can feel tingles. Maybe you get cooler. It's like you are your own shining star, emanating light. And imagine the more light that you are aware of, the more that bubble expands and your auric field gets larger and larger. And imagine the light of your beingness, the light of your soul, begins to pierce out of the auric bubble, and it shines out into the world, anyone you come in contact with. Let yourself send your soul's light to anyone in your life, family, friends, coworkers, strangers, your favorite person at the deli, whoever buys you coffee or makes your coffee. Imagine you can send your light to anyone you wish and just spend a moment or two sending your light, which basically means you're appreciating the existence of another person or persons. As you send it to each person, imagine their auric bubble gets larger. Imagine you're filling the bubbles, the people you care about, known and unknown. Imagine the light that you send out is returned to you and allows your bubble to grow larger. Begin to imagine that your auric bubble begins to lift up and you start to float upward through the roof of your building that you're in right now. Imagine yourself drifting upward. Imagine, if you wish, you can look down and see your home or wherever you are in. In this moment, you can see it far below you as you drift just like a bubble, going higher and higher in the wind. Imagine yourself floating effortlessly up and up and up. And the further up you go, the more at peace you become, the more silent everything is around you. Imagine all you can see is the light of your own soul as you drift higher and higher. Continue to float. Feeling lighter and lighter. And yet the light of your soul is getting brighter and brighter. And imagine, as you're going up higher, you reach a threshold. It looks like the sky could go on infinitely. But in this place, imagine that you sort of burst through the ceiling of the universe, if there was such a thing. And then feel and imagine yourself having your feet planted on the ground. Feeling your body completely strong, healthy, and able. And look down and see this thick grass at your feet. It's so thick, like a carpet, yet it's soft. Imagine you look up and you're in this huge field or meadow. Imagine yourself looking as far out into the distance as your eyes can see, into this land that you may have never been. Using your imagination, notice anything you can, even if it's only just a foot away from you, or maybe you can see miles and miles out. There's no right or wrong. Maybe you just keep looking down at your feet in the grass. And imagine yourself taking a few steps forward in this grass. With no limitations to walk, no limitations of being whatsoever. Feel the oxygen in this place. It's the purest, cleanest breath you've ever taken in. Know that your lungs are getting a full cleaning and healing just by being in this space and breathing in the purity. Imagine the air is also getting right into your muscles and tendons and bones, relaxing and healing all parts of you. And as you're getting accustomed to this space that you're in, begin to imagine, feel, or sense the energy of a huge presence walking up behind you. And this presence is a presence of pure love, pure light. And while you can't yet see it because it's behind you, imagine that it feels as if it's somebody like 20 feet tall, as their energy field is so large. And let the waves of their energy field start permeating your bubble, your energy field. And feel this empowering wave of love and light move through you. Like your bubble is now inside the bubble of this energy field. And recognize this being, this presence. And when you're ready, you can turn around. You can face this presence and this energy field. And maybe you physically see someone there. Maybe you see light or warmth. Maybe it's someone you physically knew or still know. Maybe this is a guide or an angel. Maybe it's a loved one who's passed. Maybe you can see them, but you're not sure who it is. In this moment, try not to figure it out if you're not sure. And trust and lean into the experience. Feel the magnitude of this presence. And whether you see or feel them or not, they are there. And you can ask any questions that you wish. And take a few moments and have a conversation. You can ask this energy, this presence, for assistance or guidance. And ask them what it is you need to see or be aware of. Allow this presence to change into other forms and other energies. Can request to see a loved one or guide or an angel. Can request to see your own soul. And just watch what happens, if anything. And if you're not sure of who to request, and ask this presence to do it for you. Have conversations with whomever, whatever is present with you. And begin to feel your soul requesting a blessing or healing, an upgrade, a reassurance. And imagine that presence that greeted you, or whomever else might you be feeling and seeing, sends you a ball of energy that travels from their hands directly into your heart center. Imagine that ball of energy in any color it appears, getting placed right into your heart center and filling your body with that light and that color, cleaning and clearing away whatever needs to be cleared, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Allow the light of that energy to clear away all concerns, worries, stresses, fears. Imagine it just burning it all out of your energy field, evaporating it or disintegrating it. Imagine your physical, mental, emotional energy fields getting stronger as all the less favorable vibrations get obliterated out of your energy field. Stand strong in the solutions of your life. Stand strong in the positive outcomes. Stand strong in the current moment. And begin to notice in this field where you are now filled with very powerful energy. Imagine you can see the tip of a plant or a tree or like a beanstalk, like in Jack and the Beanstalk, piercing through that lush green grass. And notice as that presence sort of motions their hand for you to go back to yourself in your home, in your building, in your chair, your bed. And imagine yourself sliding down that beanstalk as if it were like a fireman pole. Feel yourself sliding all the way back down. The presence of your guides and so on follow you. Feel yourself slowly sliding back down this energy pole or energy beanstalk, all the way back down through the roof of your home or the building you're in. And feel yourself entering in through the top of your head and land inside your body. And feel your arms and legs begin to bring gentle movement to your body. And feel or know or imagine the presence still with you in your home, in your room, in this moment. They're always just a thought away. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can begin to open your eyes. Only do that when you're ready. And as you come back, you can gently turn on your lights and your cameras if you wish. You can log off at any time if you need to. Bring all of your attention and energy back to the group, back to the tribe. And as you're coming back, just allow yourself to kind of hold on to and remember certain aspects of that journey. So you don't want to move too quickly. With your thumbs, let me know how that was for you. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle. And remember, I don't take it personally if it's down or middle. Up. I was counting my thumb. Up, 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 middle, 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 up, middle, no thumb, middle, up, middle. All right, no downs that I can see. How many of you, just by a show of hand or your emoji hand, how many of you, uh, well, I'm kind of skipping, but how many of you did see, feel, or imagine a presence and energy in that space? I'm skipping through a lot, but how many of you did not at all? And how many of you are not sure? Yeah, Jen, not sure. Like in and out, someone, something. And does anyone want to share what pieces of that experience were like? And we go through this every week. How many of you saw um, a presence of someone or something that surprised you? Like how many of you were like, oh my gosh, that was surprising? Thomas? I'll raise my hand for that a little bit. And then how many of you saw someone like either a loved one who's passed or someone who's still living? Okay. Anyone see a guide? Guide, good. Angel, which could also be a guide. Saint, religious figure. All right, now you share. Good night, Kathy. Oh, I think she logged off already. Oh no, she's in. Okay. Yeah, anyone want to share? Go ahead. Or share whatever aspect kind of stood out for you. Go ahead, Jane. You guys do know the first person to raise their hand to share is favorite for the night, right? Go ahead, Jane.
Thank you. So that was really amazing for me
Oh,
and
good.
couldn't have come at a better time. I've been feeling really crappy lately, and I've had like a lot of aches and pains, and I call them hot spots in my body, and I just got a diagnosis that I'm really scared about. So all of this stuff that we did was amazing and just felt great.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's skin cancer.
mm,
I'm hoping that it's going to be okay, but I'm afraid this time. I just have a feeling. I've had this in the past, but um so I went straight up to the field and I saw sunflowers and horses with their tails going, and I felt Nick. I
mm,
felt his presence. I saw him smiling. I felt like a big ball of orange energy go through my whole body. And while that was happening, all the hot spots and all the aches and pains sort of dissipated. And when I asked him if I was going to be okay, he said yes.
mm,
And he said, follow through with all your appointments so that you can get the answers that you need.
mm.
So that was amazing for me.
Wow. And you haven't really, correct me if I'm wrong, you really haven't seen or felt Nick in our meditations lately, correct?
No, right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird because I was kind of thinking, am I imagining this? I love to see him, and I was trying to see his face, but I couldn't see his face, but I could definitely feel him, and I felt him behind me. And when you said turn around and look, I couldn't turn around.
Was that couldn't turn around because you didn't want to like ruin it? Couldn't turn around because it was too much? What was that like?
um, I don't know. I don't think I didn't feel physically able to turn. I think that I felt like he was behind me and just emanating this energy to me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And it was
So it's
orange.
kind of it was orange, and then when you said the ball, take the ball, and right away I opened my hands to take it, and then you said it'll go straight to your heart, and I felt a white light, and then it turned green, and I could feel it down my whole body.
Mm. Green is the color of healing too.
Oh, yay.
Yep. Wow. And for those who don't know, Nick is her son. So for those, I think most of you know, but some are new in here, so they don't know. So, wow. Wow. Good timing. Way to go, Nick.
Yeah. I've been feeling him a lot lately and getting a lot of signs, just weird things like numbers. You've been posting things about numbers, and I've been seeing 17 was his number, and I see it.
Mm.
I've been seeing it everywhere. So
Wow.
I opened up a sheet that I bought, and they had a little sticker on the label, and it was 17. It's like, it was very strange.
Wow. Love it. Oh my gosh. How are you feeling in this moment?
I feel a little anxious. Like I said, I just got the news on Tuesday and have been trying to be positive. So been heavy on my heart. So this was really, really felt good today.
Good. This might be one to try to redo during the week too, or leave it as is. I mean, you know better what you'll do. Where is it a spot, like a specific spot that they found?
Yeah. Well, so I have a tiny little basal cell on my forehead, which is nothing. I'm not really worried about that, but I have something on my back.
That's why you couldn't turn.
And
That's why I was asking. So I'm gonna pause you right there. When you said you couldn't turn around, instantly I'm like, that's because the cancer's on her back. That's because the cancer's on her back. And you needed your back like shown, like
interesting.
the energy. Yeah, that's kind of why I was asking.
So it's in the same. I had one removed 2 years ago that was melanoma, and now I have another one. They're not calling it melanoma, but it's something. So that's why I have an appointment with an oncologist. But of course I can't get in for like 3 weeks. But
Mm.
I'm gonna keep thinking positive. So I'm gonna keep Nick in my heart and mind from now till then, forever.
Yeah. And we will too. We'll keep beaming our energy your way as well.
Thank you.
The highest good. Damn. It's wild. Well, I'm glad this was a good one for you.
I took a nap this afternoon, so I wouldn't fall asleep tonight.
I love it. Telling family, I need to take a nap so I can meditate later. People will be like, what are you talking about? Oh gosh. Well, I'm glad this was a good experience for you tonight.
Yes, thank you again.
Keep us posted, please, as you need
I
to,
will.
want to.
I will.
Thank you.
I'm actually going on my mother's birthday to have this one done, but this is nothing. I'm not afraid. I'm not worried about this one at all.
Wow. Yeah, well, that one on your back certainly got beamed tonight.
It's kind of funny because like as soon as we stopped, I wrote down what I was thinking about the hot spots because I want to remember to tell the doctor when I see him. So I wrote all that stuff down and nothing was hurting at all.
Wow.
And it's not hurting now. It's like I think when I concentrate on it, it makes it more prominent, more
Well, when we're
whatever.
focusing on it and when we're telling ourselves not to focus on those type of things, that either way, that means we're placing more focus on those things. So
Right.
it's when we distract our mind with a completely different set of data that we can release those hot spots.
Right.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad to hear that. Yay. Well, not yay, but like yay that you had a good experience. Oh my God.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. Who else? Anyone else want to share? Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
My father came through during the week and he said through a medium to me, "You don't talk to me enough." And I thought about it and I said, "Yeah, you're right." And I talked to the other two women over there more than I talked to him.
Mhm.
So tonight I put out the garbage and I was coming in to get ready. And I said to him, I said, "Maybe I'll meet up with you tonight." True story. So
Wow.
when you said, there's somebody there, I said, well, it's going to be him. And it's weird because he appeared very yellow to me, but it was him.
Interesting.
And I had to stop myself. I had to get on a mental level to talk to him not like asking questions, but just hearing, feeling what he was gonna say. And I asked him, I said, are you okay with everything that I did with the house? And he said to me, I was with you the whole way.
Mhm.
And I said, yeah, I guess you were. You know, in my head, I was thinking that, yeah, you know, and we talked a little bit. And then finally he started to go back, and I looked at him where he was going back. And he said, everyone over here is a part of your soul, which I thought was fascinating.
Mhm.
Everyone over here is a part of your soul. And
Oh,
then
and he meant on like over here, like the other side.
everybody on the other side is a part of your soul. Like I was looking where he was going back where everybody was, and he looked at me like, everybody over here is part of your soul.
Mhm.
And I thought about that, and I said, yeah, you know, um, and then Melissa came out, and I asked her a couple of questions, and she just said, I have a piece of your heart. I'm with you all the time. She said, I'm just here. She said, I always have a piece of your heart, and I'm always with you.
Hmm.
And I said, okay. And then we went on with the meditation. But I like the soul bubble expanding and contracting because that's it's your energy, it's your soul. When the bubble goes back into you, that's your soul coming back into you. And when it leaves, that's your soul going out. But I just thought the thing with my father was really cool.
That is really cool.
And you know, when he said to me, like, I was with you all, are you okay with what I did? I got rid of the house. I got rid of everything. And he said, I was with you all the way. So I was like, it's fine.
It's interesting he was yellow.
He was yellow. Yes.
Mhm.
He was all yellow.
That's
And
interesting.
I didn't actually see him physically as my father, but he was my father. He was the
Right.
energy of my father.
Yep.
And he was
Totally.
bright yellow energy.
It's funny, both you and Jane mentioned yellow and orange, and like those were the two colors I saw the entire time, yellow and orange. So I'm like, huh, did anyone else have like a yellow and orange thing going on? Let me see. Yellow and or orange. Just interesting. Those aren't like typically colors that I see, especially orange. So
And
that's intriguing.
he came in all yellow when he was big, you know, this big mass of yellow. But you know, when we talked, it was like people would talk in spirit. There was no voices moving or anything.
Yep.
But and it's something that I have to learn to do more of. But I just had to stop my mind from and just stop and just listen, and let my mind, like my soul, almost communicate back and forth with him.
Yep. Yep.
But I said, everybody over here is part of your soul, and it sort of goes with what you say because they're all the same soul energy, and they're all together.
Yep.
We all are. Once our soul leaves, we go back. We're still all our soul family. We're all together.
Yeah, it's like the great hologram.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very cool. Good. I'm glad. Two good experiences.
It was funny. I told him maybe I'll run into you tonight. And when you said somebody you know, I said, okay, good.
Bring it,
Because
Dad. Bring it.
one of the things he said was, you don't talk to me enough. And then he said, when you meditate, talk to me. Was the second part of that. Now, of course, I have your meditation where I can go and talk to anybody anytime,
Mhm.
you know, which I have to use with him more often. But he said that when he meditates, so it's perfect. Tonight was meditation. And
Well, he knew.
yeah, they all know. They know everything.
Exactly.
They know everything. I don't have to tell them nothing. They don't know at all.
They do. They know it.
No.
Those know-it-alls.
No.
Good. Anyone else? Anyone else want to share who they saw, what they felt, what they didn't see, what they didn't feel? You know, it's the questions that you have lingering. Who wants to share next? It's hilarious. No one else wants to share their experience. Well, I don't even remember what else.
I'll share.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Sherry.
So this was really good one for me too. And I think sometimes if we do something, you sort of like an activity, sometimes I bring it into the meditation in whatever form. I think obviously because that's what's recent in your head. But I'm Jewish, and I've been really, really struggling, obviously, with what's going on in the world. And I've been staying away from the news and really trying to listen to the smart people, the experts on webinars. So I did a webinar today at 5:30 with Dennis Ross. That was just phenomenal. So anyway, throughout this whole time, so many reflections have come to me that I wish I could talk to my dad. Like,
Mm.
oh my God, we talked, but we never, he grew up, he has father, there's so many stories that I wish I had talked to him about, but obviously you wouldn't have these conversations without certain things going on in the world. And so when this started and you said the white light, my bubble it was black, and it was as if all of the missiles were coming at me, and I had no color inside,
Wow.
just these things exploding all over me. So I knew what was going to happen. I said something, I'm going to see my father, no idea where you were going. And then I got to see a little light. And then when we went up, it was light. And I turned around and we sat next to each other. And we did talk a little bit. I don't know what questions I asked. I don't know what answers. But what I do remember him saying to me is, which is so my father, that things are going to work out. And you shouldn't worry, keep doing what you're doing. But don't make this interfere with your life.
Mm.
Do good, be yourself, which is it was like such a my dad thing, and it will work out. I asked him tons of questions, none that I remember, but then I actually got the white light. After we had the conversation, I got a big white light that turned to green in my heart, and sliding down the beanstalk was whatever. The other thing that was weird is that when you told us to put our feet, that we would look down and we would see our feet from way up high. And sometime I'll have to talk to Eileen about this, but for those that don't know, I'm in a wheelchair. My feet are always in the ground. I'm always standing up. And tonight that sort of struck me. I usually don't think about that, but my feet were gigantic. They were freaking monster feet.
Wow.
So it was very cool. And I really needed to see him have that conversation. So, but in the beginning, I was almost really, I got to tell you, it was very scary. It was so black, and things were coming at me. Like I felt like I was in a war. And I probably was. I've been at war in myself.
Right.
I just tamp it down.
Wow. Couple of things. One, when I mentioned feet or the grass and your feet are in the grass, and I thought of you and Eileen immediately. And because so many times, like I'll say, like, walk here, feel your feet. And I'm always like, oh my God, like not everybody's physically walking with their legs. And I'm aware of that. And I think I even said in this one something like you're able-bodied, or I don't know what I said. Maybe that was what I said. But I actually thought of you and Eileen in that moment, like, oh my God, feet in the grass. So I'm glad you brought that attention that you're like, no, my feet are always in the grass. That's
Yeah.
where your feet are always in the ground. That's important for me to know, I guess, because I thought of the two of you. Totally side, but I know I'm going to forget if I don't say it. So I'm going to say it now. And it probably is like a little bit of a wink from your dad. But last Wednesday, Greg and I went for a ride because the weather was so nice. And we passed Denkinson Road.
Jenkinson Lane, yes.
Lane, yes.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God. And I had this whole thing with Greg. I was like telling him all about you and how I met you. And he's heard me talk about you before, but and I said, "Oh my God, that's her last name." And
That's my house. That's where I
yeah,
grew up.
that's crazy. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure I remembered to tell you that.
Wow.
And that's probably a nice little wink from your dad.
Yeah.
Sherry lives in Virginia now, but I was driving. She used to live um sort of near
In
me.
Accord. Now
Ac-
where I'm from, it's so totally hip. And there's more stars there, I learned, than anywhere, even more than LA in that area, in that whole area. Even including Poughkeepsie, that whole Ulster Duchess, it's unreal.
Wow.
I learned that from someone that has a resort in Accord. But when I grew up there, I mean, no stop signs, no shoulders on the road, no lights,
People, no buildings,
nothing.
nothing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why we went for a drive. It was like, it's nice. Um, so so there's that. Um, I like that you said that you're not watching the news and that you're listening to webinars, because that's just good for all of us to remember. You know, the news, every news outlet is a shit show right now. Like it's just garbage, sadly. And it's not okay for the human system. It's not okay for the human energy field. It's not okay anymore. It's just, well, it hasn't been for a long time, but it's not okay. So it's really good to hear, like, yeah, we can still consume information about what's happening in the world. We don't need to be closed off to the traumas and tragedies, but we can receive it in a much better way. So I like that you kind of said that, so that we all were reminded we do have a choice on how we get our information. And it's news is kind of like smoking. Like,
Yeah.
you can do it, but it's not good for you. It is nothing good is coming out of it for you, no matter how much you learn. So we should all pay attention to what we're consuming, including our auditory environment, our visual environment. It's really, really important. So thank you for saying that. And then the whole like being in the bubble and the war, it's like, yeah, the war with yourself, the war with the hyper awareness. I mean, it's what do we do? You know, what do we do in times like this? What do we can't shut it off, but we also need to shut it off. So there's a balance between ourselves, or within ourselves, I should say.
Yeah, this was good. The
Good.
timing was good. And I will say, just for those that don't, webinars are so good because what I heard today and the information was so valuable and was so, in a way, uplifting, because it gave, this is like someone that's done this for 20 years. I mean, we're not talking some Joe. And then I go out and the news was on and everything they were saying on the news contradicted what he said. So it just shows you that that's not the way to get your information. So listen to people that really, that have had jobs where they've been in these rooms where these discussions happen and can give you the pros and the cons. And that's what I've decided to do. My problem is I think about it afterwards.
Mhm.
Still, so my dad's message was, which was a typical my father. You know, he always got a lot of information, but he always kept himself balanced. However, he would go outside, you know, and he was a farmer and whatever. And you saw where I grew up. You saw that. It's so cool.
Yeah, I
It's
happened to like notice. I was like, oh my
Well, I'll
God.
tell you a major wink, and then for anybody that cares, but so they decided they wanted to name all these roads. This road is probably 300 feet. It connects two roads. You wouldn't even know that. Everyone thought it was our driveway, but it's actually a road. And the day of his unveiling, which is in the Jewish religion the year after, we were driving from the grave site to where we're having the reception. And as we were driving by, we saw the sign. We did not know that they had named it Jenkinson Lane. And everybody was just we stopped the car. We were like, we didn't even know. I mean, talk
Wow.
about, and my father would have gone, I mean, he lived there for 62 years. He would have gone berserk. But talk about a major, that was just like, I was blown. I was just, that was it for me. I was blown away.
Wow. Wow. And then I saw it on Wednesday. It was Wednesday night. And I was so excited. I was so excited to see the name. So, wow. It was a wink for me as well then. All right. Who else wants to share any part of their experience or non-experience? Did anyone not see anything or not feel anything? Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Well, it was very peaceful. I couldn't believe how quickly the time went. And obviously, the loving energy, I was crying. I mean, I don't know if you could see it or not, well, because everyone's eyes were closed, but it was definitely my son, Ryan.
Mm,
That was the energy behind, and I don't know. It's hard to put in words, really, but I was transported out of my body
wow.
in peace.
Wow.
Even though I had a dog in my lap and she had a tick on her face, and I had it in between my fingers while I was hanging on to it until I let it go outside. But
Oh, that's right. Jim's not going to kill anything
yeah,
either.
except
Even the
bees. But yeah,
even the scorpion in
yeah, you're right.
Costa Rica that was in his room, he let out back into the world.
It wouldn't fit underneath the wine glass, so I had to go bigger.
Go bigger.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm glad you had a good experience though with not the scorpion, with the meditation.
Yeah, and then at exactly 9 o'clock, our internet went out and I had to go reboot the router. But anyway, we're back. So thank
We're
you.
back. Oh, I'm so glad. I thought maybe you logged off for the night to relax, but I'm glad you had that experience. It's can be quite whoa.
Yeah, it was way cool. I've done some guided meditations before on tape, but this was different, very much.
That's because of our collective energy as a group.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
all co-creating the experience. So, kind of like what Ken was saying, like our souls are everyone on the other side. It's even bigger than that, where we are our own energy field. And that's for people who are watching it live right now and people who are watching the recording of this. Like their energy's here because the intention is to be here, which is so amazing. So we're co-creating it. We're feeding each other certain lines and strands and threads of the meditation to each other. That's
Yeah,
why it's
and
powerful.
it's awesome to see some family faces here in the crowd.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many of you are here in Costa Rica. I'm week one. You guys, I mean, you were my first week in the week to back 2 weeks, but a lot of you are here from week one, my favorite week. My favorite group. And Linda can laugh. Linda. The second week was quite different. Um, not bad, but very different. So, Lynn, how was your how was your meditation?
I think it was more literal. So I had to kind of push myself into feeling it was almost a little bit forced, but I started to feel just as you were backing out, I started to get involved in that.
Yep.
And I didn't want to come out, but you made me.
Yep. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it is forced, but even that.
That helped even. It didn't matter that it was forced.
Right. And it's not really forced. It'll feel forced, but sometime like you'll say you wanted to see, I don't know, say you wanted to see Ryan and you were putting him there. It'll feel forced, like you were putting him there until one day you have a meditation where you try to put him there and he's not there. He's not, it's not him. It's your neighbor. It's your dad. It's your this one or that one. Then you know, like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't force that one because we can't force it. But we don't know that until we have one that we try to think we force and then we realize, oh, wait a minute, no, I didn't. Because otherwise we'd have that experience every time.
Right.
And we don't. We don't. We have so many different experiences every time. So
Yeah. It was still good. It was still
good.
It's awesome.
comforting until I heard him sniffing, but
Right. Oh, that's so good. That's
that
such
was a beautiful thing for me to experience that.
yeah. Oh, amazing. Ah, this is good. Anyone else want to share any lingering thoughts, any experiences, questions that are popping up? me see yeah, go ahead, Thomas. The way the light is over your head, it looks like, yeah, go ahead.
Um, I saw like a fly like landed like right in front of me. It was like a screen, and I saw the fly there in the beginning. It was just there for a long time.
That's those meds. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking.
I haven't had them
See,
since
I'm totally
12.
joking. I'm kidding.
I'm ready for them though.
So, what was that? Tell me more about the fly. Was it just like in your mind's eye, a fly? Is it,
No,
did it,
it just like came and like was like right, like if there was a screen in front of me or a glass right there. And I was like,
black one?
oh,
Your
yeah, yeah. And I was like, okay.
Interesting. Here's why it's interesting to me. This is going to sound super crazy, but what doesn't sound super crazy in here sometimes? Flies are a sign of, oh my God, angel, Metatron. Angel Metatron, who is the angel for mediums. And the angel, it's like the angel of death, but it's not like the angel of death, like he brings you death. It's not that kind of connotation.
Yeah.
It's, good night, Marianne. It's the angel that, it's the angel for mediums. There's another name for him, but he's represented as a black fly. And I only
Wow.
know that because when I first
That's
started
amazing.
learning, it is amazing because you never think fly, right? Like,
Yeah.
we want butterflies, we want dragonflies, we want
Yeah.
ladybugs. Nobody's like flies. But years ago, my house with my ex-husband became infested with flies. That we could not, this is disgusting, right? We could not
Yeah.
figure out in the attic. We couldn't figure out. We actually had to have like the Department of Agriculture or something, I forget what they're called, come and take some of these flies because we couldn't figure it out. Where were they coming from? It was like a whole big mystery. And it was really obviously upsetting. And then I went to this healing thing, and I kept seeing flies in my meditation, flies and flies and flies. And I remember telling the teacher, like I'm like, oh, I'm distracted because we have this problem with flies at home. And in that meditation, all I could see were flies. And she was like, no, that's Metatron and angels that have to do with mediums, which is exactly the time frame that I was just starting to step out into the world and work on my mediumship. So it's a big deal with the black flies, my friend.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So even though it seems so random, like, why did I see a fly? That's that.
Yeah, I
That
was
doesn't
just
mean you're
right
done.
away. I was like, hi. Yeah, I was like, I just, and that's God. It's a fly. Normally, I'd be like, sure, go over there. But I was like, hi, okay, hang out with me. You know?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it because you would, I mean, it is just a fly, but it's also not just a fly. Nothing's just anything.
No, I don't know why that just got me in tears, but
Wow. Well, I do because that's pretty powerful.
yeah.
Wow.
No tick angels, huh?
No.
Well done. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Wait.
All right.
You're holding the tick. Oh my God, you guys are my kind of people. Oh, anyone else? We have about 3 minutes left. Does anyone else want to share their experience or non-experience? Because even not having an experience in meditation is part of meditation. So we don't always have like this amazing experience every time. Sometimes we check out, sometimes we get nothing, sometimes, so non-experiences are experiences too.
So since he mentioned flies, I didn't assign what I was seeing to a fly. Well, I kind of did, but I was actually, when I was in the bubble, so-called, I said, wow, this must be what it looks like to a fly, because there were like all these square things going out all over the place, and it was green. So
Wow.
I didn't see a fly, Thomas, but I was in the eye of whatever that was.
Wow, cool. I can totally, then you were visiting Lynn. Lynn was visiting you.
Hang on. Want to share some meds?
Yeah.
Might help my ankle. Who knows?
Wow. But see, those type of things too, that's the collective co-creating of the experience. You know what I mean? Like Lynn has this thought. Did Lynn have the thought because Thomas was seeing the fly? Was Thomas seeing the fly because Lynn had the thought? Like, we don't know which came first, chicken or the egg, or neither. Maybe neither had anything to do with you, but we don't know. But that's what I mean. Like sometimes I'll say something, you guys will say like, oh my God, before you mentioned the waterfall, I saw a waterfall. I didn't mention one tonight. I'm using it as example, but I saw the waterfall, and it's like, oh, then you created the waterfall in our meditation. So we co-create energetically the meditation every week. That's why it's different every week, because it's a different group of people. It's same, but like this week, who's not here? Like Kelly's not here this week. So now the energy of our group is different. So anytime someone's here and not here, we change the energy of the group. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
So tonight,
Absolutely.
this is the co-creation. So what do we have this week? I don't think we have anything. Nothing this week, nothing until meditation next Sunday. So on that note, I will see everyone next Sunday. If you don't mind, send a little energy and prayers my way and my family's way. Just good light, white light energy to my home.
You got
And
it.
I'll see everyone. Thank you. And then see everyone next Sunday night. And don't forget to take yourselves off of mute so we can all say goodnight to each other.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, everybody, it's great
Night.
seeing all my family.
There are no balloons tonight.
Hi, Jim.
Right. Good
Yes,
night.
good night, guys.
Good night.
Love you guys.
Bye, Joe. Love you guys.
Love you, everyone.
Bye, Bonnie.
Good night.